Hello and welcome to Sky247.net presents Not Just Cricket. With me, I have former Indian captain Mohammad Azharuddin and former Irish wicketkeeper Niall. Niall was with us from Bombay last time. Niall has made it back home. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. Gentlemen, we have a super Saturday today. We have two wonderful games ahead of us, and let's take a look. First game, Mumbai versus Rajasthan. Second game, Gujarat versus Delhi. So we have to talk about our first game today. So let's take a look first at the points table and see where they're all standing right now. Delhi can potentially go on top if they win this game. But Mumbai need to get on board indeed. But we know how Mumbai are. They usually don't get on board and then they go all guns blazing. So hello, how are you both? And great to have you. So I'll start with you. Interesting game ahead. काफी interesting होगा. We have
आज मुंबई और राजस्थान का गेम बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट गेम है, क्योंकि राजस्थान एक बार अगर आप देखते तो उनकी साइड थोड़ी सी वीक होती जा रही थी पिछले जो लीग्स थी। तो अब मेरे ख्याल में राजस्थान की टीम काफ़ी स्ट्रांग है और मुंबई को इतना आसान नहीं होगा कि ये मैच उनको इतना आसान नहीं लगेगा, क्योंकि अच्छा कंपटीशन होगा, अच्छी प्लेयर्स है और मैं समझता हूँ कि ये बहुत अच्छा गेम होगा। जो भी टीम अच्छा मतलब कम गलतियां करेगी तो मैं समझता हूँ वही टीम जीतेगी।
कम गलतियां, the team that makes the least amount of mistakes is the team that's definitely going to win. What are your thoughts? I mean, like I said, Mumbai hasn't been great, but they usually are a slow starting team. I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's a fair call. I think so far in the tournament, you're looking through the last 4, 5, 6 games, and as Azza quite rightly says, the teams who have made mistakes, and fairly simple mistakes, we're talking about drop catches, we're talking about a lot of wides or misfields, generally have come out on the wrong side. So it's a chance for the sides to really just kind of put in a clinical performance, a professional performance. For Mumbai and Rajasthan, well, you know, Mumbai obviously a very, very good side, but Rajasthan, I like the look of. You know, there were question marks over their back end of the auction. They loaded their side, a lot of all rounders at the back end of the auction. But I went to Pune a couple of nights ago and watched them play, and for me, their camp, their setup looks a really settled environment. Everyone looks really happy, and you look at the likes of Shimon Hetmeyer, for example. He's been around the IPL for a number of years, has done pretty well, but he really looks at home with the Rajasthan side. So I like the look of Rajasthan. They've got, the kind of top 4, as you're probably better placed being an elegant batter yourself, but a lot of elegance in the top 3 or 4. And then from 5, 6 onwards, they've got the power. So if the likes of Butler and Sanju could set them up, they've got a really strong batting lineup throughout the order.
Did you know Rajasthan's been the only team that's actually won their game batting first? So that's, quite different.
Yeah, they got a huge score, but they've also got, they've got a nice side. Mumbai are always a strong team, and this should be a pretty close game, I reckon. Well, all our games are pretty close so far. That's the beauty of the tournament. So, it's still early days. I still think teams are still missing overseas. They're trying to find the right formula, but this has all the kind of trademarks to be a cracker.
Absolutely. Azhar ji, Sanju Samson काफी young captain है, and आपको क्या लगता है, how is he performing? It's still very early stages, लेकिन आपका क्या ख्याल है?
नहीं, देखिए, संजू सैमसन तो बहुत बढ़िया बैट्समैन है। मैं उनका बैटिंग का बहुत दाद देता हूँ, क्योंकि वो काफी साल से खेल रहे हैं। बट अभी भी मेरे ख्याल में, मैं समझता हूँ इंडियन टीम में वो सेटल होना चाहिए था, क्योंकि उनको काफी मौके मिले। बट यहाँ पे मैं एक चीज कहूंगा संजू सैमसन के बारे में, जो लास्ट टाइम भी जो लीग हुआ था उसमें भी उन्होंने काफी अच्छा बैटिंग की, बट कंसिस्टेंसी उनको होना चाहिए। क्योंकि देखिए, अगर आपको आपकी टीम अगर जीतना है, अगर आपके ऊपर टीम डिपेंड है, आप एक नंबर 1 प्लेयर है टीम के और बहुत अच्छे प्लेयर है, तो आपको कंसिस्टेंटली स्कोर करना पड़ेगा। अगर एक मैच में स्कोर करेंगे या 3 मैच में, उसके बाद में 3 मैच अगर स्कोर नहीं करेंगे, तो वहां पे टीम को दिक्कत हो सकती है। ये बहुत बड़े प्लेयर है, अगर ये अच्छा बैटिंग करेंगे तो मैं समझता हूँ कि राजस्थान की टीम बहुत आगे बढ़ सकती है।
Bilkul, bilkul. Let's take a look at the numbers tracker, please. Okay, so first up, let's talk about Rohit versus Bolt. Does Rohit struggle against quality left arm seamers, especially when they're bringing that new ball in? Niall?
Well, listen, when you're right hand opening batter and you're facing, a premier left arm quick who can swing the ball, these are the numbers Bolt to Rohit. The numbers speak for themselves, really. Strike rate is good, but dismissed 4 times and 47 balls. 66 runs. It's probably fairly even, Stephen. Really, nearly 8.5 strike rate. So I don't think Rohit's going to be losing any sleep over facing Trent Bolt, and of course he would have played with Trent Bolt as well. So it's just probably one of those matchups when you're an opening batter and you're against one of the best opening bowlers in the world. There's got to be a bit of damage. But Rohit, he is someone, if he stands in front of the stumps, he bats kind of a middle stump. A lot of batters in this day and age, white ball, you think of someone like Johnny Bairstow, bats on a leg stump and just hits everything through the offside. Rohit does give you the LB, Chef. He does give you a chance LB if you can swing it back. And Trent Bolt is a good exponent with the new ball. I don't think there's anything to worry about if you're Rohit Sharma. I don't think Rohit Sharma is the kind of person that will worry about facing Trent Bolt. But at the same time, Trent Bolt, he bowled nicely in the first game, and he's a quality bowler. So that should be, a key area. New ball against the premier batter is always going to be a big moment in the game.
Azharji, you agree with him? आपको क्या लगता है Rohit versus Bolt?
No, I definitely agree with him, because I think maybe Rohit might make some adjustments, while standing in the crease. I think he takes a middle stump guard लेते हैं, but maybe जब बॉल स्विंग होता है तो जब अच्छे लेफ्ट हैंडर जब बॉलिंग करते हैं तो बॉल तो जरूर स्विंग होगा, क्योंकि पहले 1-2 ओवर में बॉल स्विंग होता, तो शायद अगर वो लेग स्टंप पे ठहरेंगे तो शायद मेरे ख्याल में उनको थोड़ा सा रिलीफ मिलेगा, क्योंकि जब आप मिडिल स्टंप पे ठहरते हैं, जब बॉल अगर स्विंग होता है, अगर आप बॉल मिस करते हैं तो आउट होने के ज्यादा चांस होते हैं, ताकि अगर आप लेग स्टंप पे अगर रहेंगे तो पैर बहुत आगे नहीं जाता है, क्रॉस नहीं जाता ज्यादा, क्योंकि अगर आप मिडिल स्टंप पे ऑलरेडी मिडिल स्टंप पे और क्रॉस करेंगे तो आप प्लम मिलता है। तो शायद मेरे ख्याल में थोड़ा अब उनको एडजस्टमेंट करना पड़ेगा, बट लेकिन जैसा नायल ने कहा कि उनको इतना ज्यादा सोचने की जरूरत नहीं, क्योंकि इतने बड़े प्लेयर है और काफी स्कोर करे हुए हैं। ठीक है, बाद बॉलर्स ऐसे होते हैं कि आपको आउट कर जाते हैं, बट आप उसके साथ रन्स भी करते हैं। तो मैं उम्मीद करते हैं कि आज ये जो भी उनका जो रिकॉर्ड है तो उसमें थोड़ा सा वो बोल्ड से आगे बढ़े।
Bilkul, bilkul. That was a very good insight. Thank you so much. Niall, this may happen. Bumrah versus Butler. Bumrah looked off color in the first game, needs to win this battle. So let's discuss them two, please.
Yeah, again, it's the pretty much carbon copy of the Rohit Trent. It's the Trent Bolt. It's the premier bowler for Mumbai against the premier batter for Rajasthan. Butler spent a bit of time in the middle of game one. He was obviously caught, dismissed off a no ball first ball of the game in the first game of Pune. So got a bit of a life and then played quite nicely. It's going to be a big battle. I thought, I went to the game, Mumbai's first game. I thought Jasprit Bumrah bowled quite poorly, actually. He struggled to get his line and length, and his pace was there, but not express. So it's just one of those. He probably just easing his way into the tournament a little bit off colour. I expect him to bounce back. Jasprit Bumrah's too good a bowler, to turn up again and bowl poorly. But again, it's one of those. I think the Bolt versus Sharma is a bigger battle in the context of the game, because you look at through the Rajasthan lineup, they've got Sanju, and they've got the other guys coming in, Paddy Kalix actually coming in, and then Hetty, who can all play. So I think for the likes of Butler against Bumrah, it's a big battle. But I reckon if you're to put on the context, which is the bigger battle, I think Bolt getting Sharma would cause more of an upset.
Okay, fair enough. Azharji, Chahal, Ashwin factor, especially with no dew. Dew is not a factor because obviously it's a day game. Can that be a decisive phase?
तो डेफिनेटली देखिए, 2 प्रीमियर स्पिनर थे, एक लेग स्पिनर है, एक ऑफ स्पिनर है, और दोनों भी बड़े एक्सपीरियंस प्लेयर्स हैं। तो मैं समझता हूँ अगर इनको थोड़ा भी अगर मौका मिल जाएगा, अगर विकेट भी अगर थोड़ी सी हेल्प करेगी, तो मैं समझता हूँ जी T20 में तो बहुत कम उतना यूजुअली बैटिंग विकेट्स होते हैं। तो मैं समझता हूँ कि ड्यू फैक्टर नहीं होने की वजह से तो चहल और अश्विन काफी मुंबई की टीम को परेशान कर सकते हैं। अगर कहीं वो अच्छी बॉलिंग कर गए दोनों, तो फिर लंबा स्कोर करना बहुत मुश्किल होता मुंबई के लिए, क्योंकि अगर आप देखेंगे तो 200 के ऊपर भी जो स्कोर कर रहा है वो भी सेफ स्कोर नहीं है। अगर ये पहली बार ऐसा लीग में हो रहा है कि टीम 200 कर रही है, उसके बावजूद भी वो सेफ नहीं है। कि अगर आपने देखा है कि दो टीम 200 के ऊपर करी फिर भी हार गई। तो मैं उम्मीद करता हूँ कि जब स्पिनर जब डालते हैं, अश्विन और चहल जब दोनों मिलकर डालेंगे तो वो भी एक अच्छा कॉन्टेस्ट होगा, जो भी प्लेयर खेलेगा, और एक अच्छा एक डिफरेंट लगेगा, क्योंकि जो आपके प्रीमियर बॉलर्स है जो इंडिया को बॉलिंग करते हैं और दोनों मिलकर राजस्थान को करेंगे।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, and that was our numbers tracker. Okay, now I don't think you'd had a sleepless night for this, but let's take a look at your fantasy tracker. This is the team that Niall has selected. Let's take a look. There we go.
Yeah, well, anyone that's been following the shows knows I love a left-hander. So, and I really liked Ishan Kishan. I think he's a top-class player. We've spoken about Butler, Sanju, and Yadav is back, which is a massive. Sky is back for Mumbai, which is massive. Parag, I thought, was very impressive in his little innings the other day. He came out and hit a beautiful ball through the covers straight up. He looks like a really good timer of the ball. And Chahal, just going back to, Azar's point about Chahal and Ashwin, I think those two signings in the auction are giving Rajasthan real belief that they can win this tournament. So I love the fact Chahal's in there. He's a beautiful bowler. He's a competitor. And I think that's a pretty strong team. I'd be happy. If I was the head coach of that team, I'd be absolutely chuffed to bits.
Okay. And that was our fantasy tracker by Niall. And let's take a look at our social tracker. It's a special theme today, so let's take a look at this. First tweet is by the BCCI, just to remind everybody, etched in our memories forever, hashtag on this day in 2011, Team India won the ODI World Cup for the second time. Next is from Harbhajan Singh, who was a team member, 2nd of April, a day with billions jumped in joy. And then the man of the series on that tournament, which was Yuvraj Singh, it wasn't just a World Cup victory, it was the dream of 1 billion Indians being fulfilled. And the man and the legend himself, how the dream started and how it was accomplished, which is Sachin Tendulkar. Azhar, what do you remember from that day? It feels like it was yesterday, but it wasn't.
No, I think it was a very massive moment for India, for winning the World Cup, because we came, quite close to winning it a couple of times. I think we had a very good chance. But then after so many years winning the World Cup at home, it was a massive moment and everybody was happy. I was actually commentating. I was not actually present at the ground. I was required to be in the studio in Delhi, but I wish I was there at the ground, because when India won the World Cup in '83, I was just watching it on a black and white TV. But then it was a golden opportunity may have missed, but maybe in future, yes. But it's a massive moment. Congratulations to the side. It's now 11 years down the line. It's a very memorable thing. What the team did was outstanding.
Golden memories in black and white, indeed. Niall, do you think India could do this next year?
I didn't understand. I didn't get you.
T20 World Cup?
Yes.
T20. Yeah, listen, why not? They had a terrible outing just gone in the UAE, so they put that to bed. They probably have a bit of a reset, and it'd be interesting to see some of the players from this tournament. If a player in this tournament put their hand up and have a massive campaign, will they force their way in ahead of some of the other guys? But just going back to 2011, I was very fortunate to play in that tournament, and we had two wonderful months in India, and I remember the whole of India obviously got behind India, but they're very, very patriotic towards the Irish team, and India had such a great team. You went through their squad. We're talking about Ravi Ashwin. He hardly got an outing. I think he was on the bench for the final. So what a strong team, and for Yuvraj, for everything that he's been through in his life, it was just such a lovely moment for him to play so well in that tournament. What a great player. And obviously, we got to play against India and Bangalore. It was one of the best moments of my life, standing behind the stumps when Sachin was batting and facing facing Baji and all these people. It was, where dreams are made of. It was a wonderful time.
I'm getting goosebumps. Did you? Well, Virat is still playing from that team, so that's that. And ladies and gents, that was our social tracker. So we are building towards the toss. Will it be that much of an important factor considering it's a day game, Azhar?
Well, I think I'm sure whoever will win the toss. अगर जो भी toss जीतेगा, I'm sure they're going to bat. It's always good to bat. Put a score. Because at least when you put a score, that you have put a score where the other team has to chase. So it's very hard to say how many runs you are supposed to put on the board. Batting first. But I think as the match goes along, the players, they decide what is the good total. Because if you go with a preconceived idea, okay, we are going to get 200. It's not going to happen every time. So I think as the game progresses, but I feel that the team, whichever team wins the toss, I think they would look to bat.
Now, the pitch was a little tacky last time. However, it's a fresh one today at the DY Patil. So what do you think how will it be? Why have I gone blank?
Well, it's normally a pretty good pitch at the DY Patel Stadium, so I don't see there being any demons. Sometimes when you play at these grounds, especially in the evening games, you can get early on. It can be a little bit, just 2 or 3 hours. Day games, it should be fine. 3:30 start. It's would have had a bit of moisture. The ground staff would have taken the covers off this morning, probably 7, 8 a.m. There would have been a bit of moisture. The sun will be baking down on it. Obviously, absolutely no chance of rain. So it'll be a pretty good surface for 40 overs. It shouldn't. This surface and the conditions should have absolutely no bearing in the context of the results. Most of the games so far, it has to be said, if you chase, you've got a massive chance of obviously winning. But this is obviously a day game, so I actually don't see the toss being as important, and the pitch should be fine throughout. So I like Rajasthan with the spin, the bit of leg spin, and you got the Ashwin, the bit of guile from Ashwin with all his experience. Yeah, I like Rajasthan.
Well, it's 31 degrees in Mumbai, so it's going to be pretty hot. The result has come. Mumbai has won the toss and decided to bowl. Jaise aapne bola tha, Azhar ji, that is our latest update. Mumbai has decided to bowl. There we go. Happy with that decision, as predicted?
But I think I'm sure they would definitely want to chase, because since they've already lost one game, so they just want to be safe, because they don't want to, get a small total and then lose again. Maybe that is playing on their mind. But I think Mumbai has a good side. I don't know why they should worry about not batting first, because they have players who have really, been playing for Mumbai for almost like 10, 10, 11 years, So I think they have a very good batting unit. But still, they look to if Rajasthan put up a big score, they will not find it very easy to chase because they have quality spinner Ashwin. The bowling side is good as well, Rajasthan.
Absolutely. Niall, let's talk about the man right now, Ishan Kishan, a very important player for the team. So can we talk about him briefly?
Yeah, lovely player. Very, very elegant. He's a touch player, really. Plays very square of the wicket. The one thing when I watched him live last week at the ground, he played really well. Got a massive score, a big half century. Hits very, very square of the wicket. So these are obviously his numbers to date, fairly recent. It's a bit of an oxymoron, really, because there's one game this year and then 2 games back in the last tournament. But like a lot of left-handers, hits the ball square in the offside. Loves hitting the ball through point. So I think you have to bowl very straight. You must bowl very straight, almost come through waist high, and also use your variations. You want to get him hitting down the ground, because as soon as you bowl probably a half a stump or a stump outside off stump, because he hits so well square the wicket, that's like bowling 5th or 6th stump. So I think for him, you got to bowl very straight, back of a length, and make him hit down the ground. Bigger stadium as well than the Brabourne, etc., and the Wankhede. So you've got to make the batters hit down the ground. But he's a lovely player. He's a touch player. And he's certainly one for the now, but I think he's also one for the future.
Absolutely. Asarji, still no Surya Kumar Yadav for the team, so that he will be missed, obviously, because he's a key player as well. तो आपको क्या लगता है?
नो, अभी तो देखिए वो मैच खेल रहे हैं, मेरे ख्याल में मुंबई की टीम काफी बैटिंग में स्ट्रांग हो गई, क्योंकि जो लास्ट मैच उन्होंने मिस किया था, तो मेरे ख्याल में मुंबई टीम भी उनको मिस की, लेकिन टीम के लिए बहुत एकदम जबरदस्त टीम प्लेयर है, और बिल्कुल अनकन्वेंशनल शॉट्स खेलते हैं वो। अगर आप देखेंगे दोनों कभी भी जब बैटिंग करना है, उनका सिचुएशन को बिल्कुल देखते नहीं, वो अपना नेचुरल गेम खेलते, इसी वजह से मैं समझता हूँ वो ज्यादा सक्सेसफुल है, और hopefully, he will, do well today.
And we also know that there's a little change in in the team, the Rajasthan team. I think Navdeep will be stepping in as well, and another player will be out. Nathan Putanile is out, and Navdeep is in. Nile, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, a little bit extra pace. Nabdi Saini's bowls, 145, can probably click when he's really fit and firing, can get up that 150. He was close to playing a couple of nights ago when I was chatting to some of the guys in the Rajasthan side. They said he wasn't far away. It was probably just one game too early. So no surprise there, really. Nathan Coulter-Nile is a good cricketer, but they want that little bit of extra pace that Saini will give you. And they're not worried about Coulter-Nile, who can bat. They've got enough batting, so they're not worried about that. They want the pace. They want the bowlers probably to try and make some early inroads against the powerhouse top order. And also, when you think of someone like Kyron Pollard maybe coming in at 5 or 6, to have that extra pace where you've got someone who can bowl bouncers and aggressive short stuff, because we know Kyron Pollard doesn't like it, up around the rib cage, up around the head. Pollard likes the ball when he can hit through the line. So someone like a Saini can really bang it in. From Mumbai, yeah, listen, their team is, Tim David's one for me. Keep an eye on Tim David. I think he's a lovely striker of the ball. Murugan Ashwin, nice bowler, played well. From Mumbai, I reckon the bowling's their weak link. You look at Tyler Mills, on his day can be excellent, but can go for runs. And Daniel Sams, for me, very good. He's a good batter, good striker, but his bowling, he's leaking runs time and time again in the T20 format. And then for Rajasthan, it's a nicely balanced side. I think it's a nice. Jaswal's a good player. Sanju, we've spoken about. Hetty's in good form. I think Rajasthan actually have got what they wanted. I reckon Rajasthan wanted to bat first, because I agree with Azhar. Get runs on the board, and then you got spinners. 8 overs of spin. Boom, boom, boom. Get through your overs, pick up a couple of wickets, and then Mumbai, you look at the scoreboard, you're needing 12, 13 and over.
Absolutely.
And I think, so can I interrupt?
Yes, please.
I think the Rajasthan side looks very balanced, because if you see, they have got good batting side, they have good bowlers. As Nihal has said, with Mumbai, the bowling, maybe the speed Bumrah is there, but maybe to support him, I don't think there are bowlers who can really support him. If Mumbai has to win, Bumrah has to take wickets, just not contain them. But if you see, we have missed one name from Rajasthan. I think Prasidh Krishna is outstanding bowler. According to me, I think he's a very good bowler. He's a very, he has got a lot of variation. So I think he'll be the main bowler as well.
Yeah, Prasidh Krishna, actually, yes. That was actually my next question. Getting into his peak years as an aggressive bowler who's always hitting that. So definitely one to look out for. So there we have that. Do we have our team lineups that we can take a look at? Okay, once more. Thank you. There is our team lineup for those of you who are tuning in. That's Mumbai and Rajasthan. One change for Rajasthan. There we go. So next we have one of my favorite parts of the show, which is our trivia tracker. Let's take a look. Okay, so Azhar, there's going to be some questions over here. These are like it's a very fun game. I think you're going to like it. So should we start and take a look?
Yeah.
Right. Who are these two gentlemen merged into one?
It's one Sangakkara and
Sanga's definitely there.
Yeah. I don't know the other one.
Is it Rohit's face? Rohit's bottom half of the mouth and nose?
No, no,
Double?
no, no.
Oh.
2 Sri Lankan legends.
Oh, Mahela. Of course, Mahela.
Yay!
Mahela.
But no one gets any points over here.
I was
but
going to
still
say that, but then I didn't think that. I mean, they will both be together.
they were together. Next, another World Cup question. Let's take a look. Niall's brother Kevin O'Brien holds the record of fastest World Cup century in 2011. Which Indian has scored the fastest World Cup century?
Maybe
Any
Rohit Sharma.
So you say Rohit Sharma.
That's right.
Azharji is saying Rohit Sharma.
I'll go a little bit left field. I'll say Sourav Ganguly.
Okay. Let's reveal the answer. Let's take a look.
Oh my!
Azharji, you should have known this. Kapil Dev.
And
83.
can I give you a little bit of trivia on Kapil Dev while we're talking about Kapil Dev?
Yeah, please do.
So just because we're talking about my brother Kevin, he loved Kapil Dev growing up. He idolized Kapil Dev. That's why Kevin wanted to be an all-rounder. So my brother is known as Kapil Kev.
That's so cute.
And he's still in my phone as Kapil Kev in my phone. There you go.
That's so cute. Bless him. Okay, do we have another question? Let's take a look. Another World Cup question. Which are the only 2 players to have represented their nation across 6 World Cup editions?
Javed Miandad.
Okay. And?
Tendulkar.
Yes.
You got 2? Javed Miandad and Sachin?
Indeed. And we have a winner. You've won your first point. Well done.
I always seem to lose at these games.
It's okay. I would have known. And then we have our winner over here in the house, Azharbai. Well done. Well done. Okay.
It's because I played with them, so I know.
Okay, so before I let both of you gentlemen go, what are your thoughts on this game? Who are you rooting for? Who do you think will be on the winning side?
Rajasthan.
Rajasthan. And Niall?
Yeah, I like Rajasthan. I think they've got a well-balanced team and they've got to get runs on the board. You know, day game, runs on the board, and then strangle with the spin second time round.
Okay, well, before I go, let's take a look at the quick poll. Let's take a look, and this is what our viewers have said. Who is more destructive and effective? 52% said Rohit, and Butler 48%. So that's very, very, very close. Do you agree, guys?
I don't know why they didn't put Samson's name. I thought he's a very destructive player as well.
It's the 2 openers.
But sometimes he comes opening as well, Sanju Samson.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for being here. I'm going to see you very soon. And thank you, all of you, for tuning in to Not Just Cricket. Thank you so much. We'll be back very, very soon. Take care.
Thank you.